Good afternoon, everyone. How nice it's been to talk about the US market and acquisition strategies and everything. And it's time to step in and talk a little bit about retention as well. I think we need a little bit of that as well. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fast Track. For anyone who is new to Fast Track in this room, we're a hyper-growth company and working with hundreds of brands across the world. And we deliver a CRM platform. And CRM is the backbone of the iGaming operation, at least a successful one. And relevance right now is key. And the ability to retain our players is what's going to make the difference between red and black numbers on the bottom line. And the market is very, very competitive. And what happens in a very competitive market is that the prices to acquire customers goes up. So that makes the relationship that we build with our customers even more important. We have to deliver on that. So today I want to tell you why we built Fast Track CRM and where we are right now. And with this story, I want to show you what the future of CRM looks like and what it will take for you as operators to continue to be successful even in the future. And I want to start right here. I think this picture illustrates better than anything the main problem in iGaming operations. The amount of systems that we have to work with. And it might be sometimes we don't see that looking into the organization, but the operational teams are certainly getting it. And the amount of systems that we have to work with is one of the main blockers for innovation. And when systems can't speak to one another, you are going to have to rely on humans to do it for it. And most of the time, that comes from an operational perspective in the way of moving lists in between different systems. And this is a huge blocker. And it's very time-consuming. And I hate time consumers. When you get to know me, you will see that I'm very passionate about two things. Number one is organizational scalability, and number two is digitalization. And we have been working, so the co-founders behind Fast Track, we worked more than 10 years on the operator side in the industry before we founded Fast Track. And we experienced this firsthand. So trust me when I say that we were motivated in order to overcome this issue when we started Fast Track. So Fast Track was founded on this basic principle that there was a better way to do things. There was a better way to do the iGaming operations. And we wanted to digitalize the iGaming industry, which is still what we're trying to do. But when you talk about digitalization in the iGaming industry, you have to understand that the iGaming business is really complex. It's unlike any other industry out there. You have so much content, tens of thousands of games, and they're coming from hundreds of different content providers and game studios. Then you got advanced bonus loyalty gamification platforms. You got multiple product verticals. And when you start looking into these different verticals, you see that they are equally as complex within their own environments. You got very demanding regulatory landscape. And obviously, it's a cash-rich industry, so we are quite subject to fraud, right? So when you package all of this together, there's not really that many other industries in the world that would even come close to the amount of complexity that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we work in entertainment, right? So that makes CRM very complicated. So when we look at CRM and we see that CRM has pretty much, and I'm looking back now in the time Fast Track when we started Fast Track, but even today, CRM is still very, very basic, and it's been very basic for a very long time in terms of how we do it. And I think that's part of the explanation. There has been a lot of innovation in other parts of the businesses. But CRM has been standing on a standstill for a very long time. So this is when we decided to build a CRM platform. Why not take that on, we thought, right? Super cool. So we made 3 promises when we built Fast Track CRM. It was obviously to ourselves, but it was to the market as well. Number one, we wanted it to be flexible. And there was just a session now about proprietary and owning or buying or renting. I mean, there shouldn't be a blocker for you to actually take in advantage of a third party, but you should have the flexibility. We always believe that. You should have a flexibility, and we wanted to build Fast Track as it was as close as it possibly could be to an in-house internal platform, as close as it possibly could be. Number two was to significantly reduce the amount of effort that came into running a CRM strategy. Talking about that execution in iGaming operations. And number three, we wanted to make sure that it was based on real-time data, so that we could have the capabilities to do real-time data automation. You would be surprised if you would see how many of the operators today is still relying on a 24-hour-old data feed and BI reports in order to conduct basic CRM. That's pretty much the majority, I would say right now, of operators in the market. So there is quite a lot of work that still today needs to happen in that space. So the success recipe, when we started building the platform, it became, first of all, we needed to focus specifically on the iGaming sector, because there was no other industry that looked anything like this industry. So we couldn't possibly address multiple industries at the same time. Number two, we wanted to base it, and Fast Track actually became the first platform in the market that was exclusively run by real-time data. So that was the first thing that happened there. Then we wanted to make sure that all of the business systems that you use on a day-to-day basis, so whether it was a bonus platform, gamification, CMS, they were all connected to the CRM platform, which makes sense, so that you could work from one central system. And it was also a reinvention of the work process. A lot of the gaming operators today, they are working across multiple markets, across multiple regulations, with a multi-brand operation, and we needed to make that simple, so that was part of the package. So that was the first version that we went to market with when we built Fast Track CRM. That quite quickly took us on to the age of automation. So scaling with automation was the next natural step in the evolution, both of the platforms and for the partners we were working with. And we had great automation capabilities working with real-time data and the structure of the platform. But when you look at real-time automation, it allows teams to be with the players every minute, every second of the day, and even when you're not at the office and pressing out campaigns. And not only does it create that richer experience, it also frees up time. It makes it easier to measure performance of what we're doing from a CRM perspective. And evolve essentially as a CRM strategy. So we supported our partners in launching some of the most comprehensive automation that has been seen to date. And our partners relied on Fast Track for pretty much everything in terms of their CRM. So that was onboarding, on-site engagement, retention activities, reactivation. So it served as the backbone. And with more advanced automation, when you start rolling out automation, you need to be able to manage it effectively, right? So anyone who has any experience in working or implementing automation in your business, you will know that most of the problem that you see is that as soon as you press the button and everything goes live, no one dares to touch it anymore because you might break everything. So that was like one of the problems that we wanted to overcome with Fast Track, so that we had a solution that allowed teams to easily be able to manage and upgrade and work with that. And that's when we built what is today called Fast Track Lifecycles. So that was a natural evolution of the product. So the focus up until this point was really about simplifying process and the right capabilities. But what teams actually wanted to focus on was obviously what they were hired to do, was the creative process and understanding their customer needs. So we are sort of working with that, and you cannot really do those two things. You can't really focus on the customer needs if you're having issues to even execute your CRM strategy. I think at this point, the data capabilities and reporting capabilities of the platform were above par what was offered in the industry. But if you're looking at our internal conversations, very, very, very far away from where we want it to be. So everyone who has any experience working with data platforms, I'm sure all of you have some experience working with data platforms. They're great up until a point, right? I mean, you sign up, you promise the world, and you sign a license, but then when you start working with it, you get some of these dashboards, they're beautiful, you work with them, but they're not very actionable. Most of the time you log into a separate platform, it's not very actionable. So you can't really do anything with the data that you're looking at. You can see the trends and you can analyze. But the next thing is, like, as soon as another team is asking a question for some data that they want in, it becomes really difficult to get it in there. Most of the time they're really slow. That's another thing as well. Like, the data tools that we're using today are really slow. So obviously Fast Track decided to take that on. So we're thinking like, yep, let's solve that because we need a solution to that. And that's when we decided to build what we call today the Fast Track Data Studio. The Data Studio addresses all of those points and is, to my knowledge today, the fastest studio environment in the market today. And it presents like huge amounts of flexibilities in terms of how teams and end users can build their own dashboards and build all of these things. So that helped our partners to become data-driven. They could actually start using that data and create more actionable insights and learn about their customers. And because of the automation capabilities, they could take that extra step to start growing the customer model. So what do you want to do with all of that time? We're coming into the future. The one-to-one experiences. So every single operator that we are talking to right now, every partner, everyone is focused on the same thing. We want to achieve one-to-one experiences. We want to be as personal as we possibly can, and we want to be relevant. Okay? The relevance is key here. This is what's going to drive the retention long-term, is to be able to scale that. So when we are building more advanced customer models, using all of that actionable data, we want to build one-to-one experiences. The problem is that one-to-one doesn't scale well in how CRMs are typically designed in the market today. Because the design of the CRM platform is that you target one group of customer with one offer. So every time you want to increase your dimension of segmentation, so say that you come up with a new cohort in your segmentation where you want to target with new offers, you need to create new campaigns and new campaigns. So essentially you end up with armies in order to get something done. So what we actually needed was a platform that was able to prioritize, right? To do that work for you so that you could just load it up with all of the campaigns that you need. And then let the platform prioritize on its own. Sort out the distribution, get rid of that executional barrier. So that's why we built what we call today the Singularity Model. And that's when we introduced the Singularity Model, that marked the shift, the biggest shift in the history of how CRM has been conducted in the industry and the capabilities that it presents. I mean, we've made it possible together with this new engine, with the Singularity Model, we can have libraries of hundreds of campaigns on one side and millions of players on the other side, and with one single activity, the platform will itself prioritize which offer is being sent out, which time it's sent out, how it's delivered, and what it looks like when it arrives to the customer. So that's a huge stepping stone. So that takes us to where we are right now, but also to the future of CRM. I think it was Todd that was up here, and he was talking about AI-driven. He's right. That is exactly what's going to happen. We want to digitalize the iGaming industry. We are on a mission to deliver the first self-learning engagement platform in the market. We have our entire team working to achieve that goal. The future of CRM is going to be your ability to scale with self-learning one-to-one experiences. We call this goal Singularity. We want to get to a point where the platform is able to go beyond what we can humanly comprehend in terms of the decision-making that it's doing. That's the goal. When we talk about self-learning, that's what we need to do, not anything less than that. So now I would like to show you a short video on what that looks like in our reality with Fast Track today.
This is Amanda. She works with us at Fast Track and she loves to play casino. If we look at the way Amanda plays, we can easily tell what type of player she is. Amanda is seeking the thrill of a life-changing moment and has developed an appetite for jackpot games. We can also see that she has a strategy. Amanda picks her games carefully and goes for jackpots that are beyond their theoretical drop point. In other words, Amanda cares about value and is motivated to play when she has an edge. Let's imagine for a second that Amanda is our only customer. Knowing what she cares about, what would we do to maximize her entertainment value and get her to spend more time with us? We would probably send her updates about growing jackpots and let her know when new jackpot games are being released. We could even create jackpot night campaigns specifically for her on the evenings we know she usually plays. The reality is, though, that none of us have just one Amanda to look after. Next to Amanda, we also have players like Dan, Sarah, and Stephen, and hundreds of thousands or even millions of other players to care for, all different from one another with their very own unique playstyles and behaviours. We do the best we can to look after all of them, but the vast amount of content, the complexity of the regulatory landscape, social responsibility, bonus engines, and the risk of players taking advantage of our offers hold us back. The problem is that CRM platforms have a fundamental design flaw. They are not designed to handle this level of complexity and are made to target one group of customers with one campaign at a time. If we want to achieve one-to-one experiences, we need a blank canvas, a new design. A one-to-one CRM platform must be able to see what matters for each individual player and be able to match the right content to their specific preferences. And we need a work process that takes all the complexity into consideration. We want to build a truly tailored experience for every user. To be able to provide Amanda with such an exceptional experience that she will feel that every piece of content has been produced exclusively for her. Welcome to the future of CRM. Using breakthrough technology, Fast Track is setting a new industry standard in how to conduct CRM. We have built the Singularity Model, an engine that makes one-to-one experiences possible at scale. It observes every action the player makes in real time, using advanced machine learning and computations to establish a comprehensive player profile. Instead of transactional CRM, where you send one specific campaign to one group of players, the Singularity Model uses a library of pre-built content that is ready to go at any time. We can be in control of what content is suitable for each individual player, and the model is able to handpick the most optimal piece of content for those players at the right moments. The Singularity Model is not only capable of handpicking the right content, it is also able to determine the most optimal time to engage, which channel to use, and how a message will be communicated through media and text. Every single player will have their own experience, handpicked specifically for them. Self-learning one-to-one experiences are the future of CRM. This will fundamentally change how we work. How do we prepare ourselves for the future of CRM? What steps must we take to ensure our teams and organizations are ready to embrace self-learning one-to-one experiences? Over the past years of partnerships with the most innovative leaders in this space, we have developed a pathway that will help you scale with success. The first step is to free up time. Unlocking time to focus on innovation is the first and most important step in the pathway. Working with Fast Track has been proven to make teams 4 times more effective. Fast Track connects to all the platforms you use to engage your players. This includes your bonus engine, player account management system, site and CMS, and all your different communication channels. You can work from one platform and never need to upload a list again. A real-time data feed ensures the data you act on is always 100% up to date. Periodic transfers do not cut it. The Fast Track platform is easy to use and is packed with tons of smart functionality that removes complexity and eliminates time-consuming tasks. One central system, real-time data, and the right process will free up time and allow you to scale. The second step is to scale with automation. You will invest this extra time into creating the foundation of automated CRM activity that will help you scale. We will hold your hand every step of the way, from planning to implementation, and ensure you are successful in automating all aspects of your CRM strategy. Automation can be complicated, but we have made it easy with Fast Track Lifecycles, the most comprehensive automation suite in the market. The third step is to scale by finding bright spots. You are now ready to take a science-led approach. Experimentation and analysis will be in focus. We provide your team with the right tools and processes to scale with data-driven decisions. The Fast Track Data Studio is the most powerful analytics and data mining solution in the market. All the data is real-time, and even the most comprehensive reports run lightning fast. The fourth step is to scale with one-to-one experiences. You are now departing from transactional CRM altogether. You will use the Singularity Model to scale with one-to-one experiences and rely on the platform to pick the right offer, time, channel, and content for each individual player every time. Distribution now becomes completely effortless, and you have embarked on your journey towards self-learning CRM. With a single activity, you can now have automated matchmaking between hundreds of campaigns and millions of players. The fifth and final step is to scale with self-learning. You are now at the pinnacle of CRM. Your platforms are fully connected, your data is in real time, you rely on automation, you make data-driven decisions, you have a focus on ideation and data science, You use content banks to create one-to-one experiences, and your growth is AI-driven. From here on, we are shaping the future together. We will bring you on board the Singularity Project. We have a dedicated team of data scientists that will collaborate directly with you with a single focus: to deliver the first self-learning engagement platform. To deliver exceptional experiences, we need to change the way we work. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to showing you more in person.
I hope you enjoy that, guys. Thank you very much for taking some time out to speak to me today. Ciao.